Hi everybody, welcome to Reality Buzz TV where we talk about all things reality TV shows and all things reality TV show stars. So I just watched episode 3 of Real Housewives of Durban. Listen you guys, I feel like it was getting better from episode 2 to episode 3. It became a little bit watchable. I don't know, maybe I'm just convincing myself to watch the show because it's still, of course, the same cast. I still see the same issues that I saw in episode 2, but I just enjoyed episode 3 better than I did episode 2. I almost gave up on the show. I still had no goosebumps that I was getting on Real Housewives that I used to get with every episode in previous seasons. So it's just like lukewarmish, But definitely episode 3 was better than episode 2. But I was wondering, you guys, I wonder what they do to convince Jojo and Sorisha to still do this show. Because, of course, we have heard that the paycheck for this show is not good enough to convince you to do the show. So you have to basically find other reasons to do the show besides money. But we also do know that in South Africa, we do have that thing of the race. Issue when it comes to pay scales in every sector. And while the black girls might be complaining about the pay when it comes to the show, I wouldn't be shocked to find out that the girls that are not black are actually not having those issues at all. Okay. So even though our boss Lee and all the other girls that have left the show are saying that the check from Real Housewives of Durban is not good, I wouldn't be shocked if Sorisha and Jojo are staying on the show because their checks are good. Because I'm just wondering what convinces them to stay on that show because they don't really need the money. And if it's the money that makes them stay, it will have to be like really good money that makes a lot of difference in their lives for them to stay on a show. What really made me think about that is because with Jojo this season, I feel like she hates it when they do like serious conversations. So when they try to have serious conversations, she hates it. When they try to do the games, she hates it. So sometimes I'm confused by what she wants them to do on the show. I'm like, so what does Jojo want them to do on the show? I've said, you guys, that every time my relationship with Jojo is the same every season. I start the show liking Jojo. By the end of the season, I don't like Jojo. Every season, it's like that. So this season, I'm trying to figure her out. What does she like to do on the show? Is she there just to defend Nongu? Is she coming back on Real Housewives every season because Nongu is coming back and she feels like if she leaves the show, Nongu is not going to have anybody to defend her. So as long as Nongu is coming back on the show, she wants to come back so that Nongu has a backup, because I kind of feel like she does not want to do anything. If they introduce a game, she doesn't want to do the game. If they introduce a serious conversation, she does not. Everything is a bad idea when it comes to Jojo. So I feel like, what does Jojo want to do really on the show? And also, I feel like, for an example, in this episode, she does say that she felt like she was vibing with one of the twins, and she also was interested in I think it's Fifa. She said, okay, so she feels like she has a chance of building friendships with these ladies, but because Nongu is always having these conflicts with people, her focus is on always defending Nongu, that it's almost like she's not taking the time she get to know these other ladies, which I feel like she could have actually friendships with them. Like she was saying, she's vibing with the twin that was sitting next to her. I think it's Ayanda, because I'm still also trying to figure out who is who when it comes to the twins. So I'm still trying to figure out, why does Jojo keep coming back to the show? What do they do to convince her to come back? Is it because of the show? Is it because she just wants to come back and defend Unonku? Is the check ka Jojo and Sorisha as bad as the check is or was for Lee and the other ladies that have left the Real Housewife? Because Lee said her check was bad, and Sane said the check is bad, okay? And I'm sure the other ladies that have left also, I don't think that check Annie was that good, okay, Annie Tempe, because when Annie started having financial troubles, she left the show, which I felt like if you're having financial troubles in your home, you are going to stay. If the show is paying well, you are going to stay. The fact that when she started having financial troubles, she left the show, then the check must not have been that good anyways, okay? So I was just thinking about that, you guys. This episode, of course, they finished with that conflict between Nongu and Lo about her arriving late at the event. Lo arriving late, not wearing the theme, according to the theme, even though she said, she was wearing Roberto Cavalli, okay, 150,000 that she was wearing, okay, and also asking uNdlunkulu to pass her the chicken, okay. I guess if uNdlunkulu is sitting next to the chicken, you are supposed to stand up and go fetch the chicken yourself, even though the uNdlunkulu is sitting right next to the chicken, because it's uNdlunkulu. Hey, guys, over and above the fact that, Bonlewa takes money when they are sitting next to our chicken, at the table next to the chicken, you can't ask them to fetch the chicken, over and above the tax money, you can't ask them to pass you the chicken even when they're sitting next to the chicken, the ridiculousness. Okay, listen, you guys, my thing with law is that I think that when you've just joined the group, if I was here and I had just joined the group, maybe I would have mentioned the fact that, I didn't like the fact that you were late for the event, and I would have left out the fact that she wasn't wearing, she wasn't themed, in terms of the clothes, and I would have left out the chicken part of it, okay? But at the same time, yeah, if the goal for Law was to, get along with the group, I would have left out that part. Maybe just mention that I wasn't impressed by you being late, but, let's just let it go because I'm trying to get along with, the group. But if Law's goal was just to, sometimes when they join the group, they just want to have a moment, okay? If Low's point was to get a moment in her entrance, like Sane did when she joined the Real Housewives, then she did okay with mentioning the theme you were not wearing according to the name in the surname of the whatever you were not, you sent Undlunkulu, the chicken and all of that, she did well. But the thing about that is that you stand a chance of ama fans that could have liked you, that are Nonku's fans might not like you because you came for their favorite. And we all know, you guys, that Nonku has a lot of fans. So you are taking that risk when you go that route, especially when you go for the person that is liked a lot, because Nonku has a lot of fans, because Nonku is the OG. Okay, Nonku and Sorisha are the OG on the show. So you have to be careful when you come for the OG on the show. So if Low's goal was to just, get a moment, then, that was the right thing to do. But if it was just to address things so that she can integrate in a group, maybe some of the things were a little bit petty, she should have just let go and just move on. And maybe when they are, a little bit too comfortable with each other, then she could have brought things, or she could have also just called Nongu for coffee or something, and they could have had a private conversation, just the two of them, and maybe the whole thing wouldn't have been as explosive as it was, you guys. So that's how I feel about the whole back and forth between Nongu and Lo at that event. Here's the thing, you guys. I feel like every season, Nonku's head is becoming bigger and bigger. Nonku's ego is becoming bigger. there is a wordly English that I'm looking for when it comes to Nongu. I love her for the show, but she is becoming, ngizokhumbula leli gama leli lesingisi abalisebenzisayo. It's not annoying, but there is another one. Ngizokhumbula leli gama lesingisi. And she's becoming unlikable, almost like when she is in a group, she is inconsiderate of other people's feelings, and also she forgets that her story is not the only story that needs to be told. And when somebody is still telling their story, she comes in and she thinks her story is the only one that needs to be heard. Like that phone call when everyone is talking and the twin was still asking something from Jojo, she gets a phone call. Instead of stepping out, she wants to take a phone call. Everybody must be quiet because she wants to take a phone call. It turns out that it's her son that's calling, and her son wants her to pray for him. Everybody must be quiet because she wants to pray for her son. She's self-centered. Self-centered. She thinks everything is about her. Self-centered, yes, in an annoying way. Like, I'm like, Nongu, like, it's not all about you. Like, everybody must be quiet. She must pray for her son. What kind of nonsense is that? Like, there are 7, 8 people on the table that must keep quiet because you need to pray for her son. Like, take the phone call on the side. Let other people continue with the conversation. I don't like that about Nongu. And that's how she is at the table. Even when she went out with one of the twins, Ayanda was not even able to finish her story. Like, she'll be trying to finish her story, and then oh, by the way, even me, da 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 da, and then she will end up telling her story, and then Ayanda will start something, and then even me. Oh, you're preaching to. Anyway, that whole thing of them, by the way, going out just away from everybody, I thought it was good. I think it was good that Ayanda was able to address Nongo asking about her man cheating and saying that, listen, that's not something to ask somebody, because you might ask a woman that if your man has cheated and you find that the woman is going through that, they are still bleeding from that whole situation, they haven't healed, and you can hurt somebody by just asking that question, especially in a setting of a group. I like that Ayanda asked that when they were only, on the side, just the two of them. So I feel like Nonku, as ego is getting bigger and bigger, I feel like she's getting more. She thinks that all of those, everybody is her fan, and it doesn't help that Jojo is like, she is on the show to serve Unonku. Ngathi lapha kuthanda nesithembu when they are saying everybody is serving umacele lana, they are serving Unonku. I'm like, anyway, you guys. So then again, I think again it was concluded in Nongo, but I think they don't like each other. Okay. But Ulo said that she was happy that she was able to communicate whatever she was able to communicate with Unongo. Then Unongo decides to ask Ufafa about the whole affair or the whole scandal with her and her husband. She lies and says that she had heard somebody that from number one, she just met Lo, but she said that she heard from somebody that there was a story about Lo's husband, that somebody was talking about it on TikTok. Nongo doesn't have TikTok. Fafa says that her and her husband, they don't have TikTok, but Nongo heard from somebody that somebody was talking about her and her husband but Nongo doesn't know Fafa's husband, and she's not on TikTok, but somebody was telling her that the story was on TikTok. It wasn't making sense. So Fafa is like, you know what? Since you are not sure about this whole thing and you're also not on TikTok and I'm also not on TikTok, what I think that you must do is go to the person that told you this story, gather all the facts, story, and then come back to me, which I think would have been my response. So you are asking me a story that you're not clear about. So go back to the source, gather the story, and then come back to me. Okay. Nongu herself wouldn't have liked that if somebody asked her a story like that. Okay. Everybody knew what story she was talking about, but nobody thought it was appropriate to ask it like that. I like what Lo said. When you are asking a story like that, just be specific with, I heard this and this and this and that. What's happening? Also, why are you asking somebody in a group setting? Okay. So I suspect, you guys, that Nongu doesn't know much about the story. I think producers might have, Hlebelad had the story, to say there's a story like this about one of the cast members of Fafa, and we need somebody to bring it up. And Nongu brought it up, but did not even go to the internet to search it and get the details, so that when she's asking Ulo, she can be more specific with where was the story, what was the details of the story, so that she can ask the specifics. So she did not do that. So when she was asking Ofafa, she did not even have the details to go into. So Ofafa was like, what TikTok, what story? I'm not even on TikTok, girl. What are you asking about? So even Angel said because she knew about the story, but she wasn't about to back Nongu, because she was like, listen, I like Fafa. I know what Nongu is talking about, but I'm not about to get into that, because why should I? Okay? Listen, you guys, I feel like the ladies are gelling a little bit, okay? I still don't like the casting, but I guess it's a matter of just us dealing with what we've been given at this point, okay? This is what we have. This is what we have, okay? What are we going to do, okay? So then you guys, the other big thing this episode was Sorisha's event. And we all know, you guys. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to Jojo and Sorisha, I'm like, I don't know, you guys. There's a deal here of some sort, okay? How are they getting Sorisha to come back every season? I feel like our negotiations, Sorisha must be different than everybody else, okay? I feel like it's hard for me to even say that the money is good when it comes to, because it will have to be in the millions for her to be coming back for money. There is something that Sorisha is making Sorisha come back every season. There's something that Sorisha is, because guys, she does not need the show. She does not need the money. If it's money, it must be in the millions. But there is something that is making Sorisha come back every season. I kind of feel like the show needs Sorisha more than Sorisha needs the show. Because even with events, Sorisha's event and also Jojo's event, the two of them, their events are always the events that always gives us the glam, like the glam that you are supposed to see on Real Housewives. You are going to get that on in Sorisha and Jojo's events. The two people that don't need the show, don't need to be on the show, that for some reason the production always manages to bring them back. Every season they manage to bring them back. So I'm just curious to know is it the money? If it's the money, how much exactly do they get? So Risha's event, of course, was the over the top. I don't think anybody's gonna do it better than Sorisha, because of course the money is no issue, okay? Just like Jojo's wedding, the money was no issue, okay? So all of the girls were there. Now, over and above everybody that was there, but there was also many, the one, the Kakasi FM DJ, the one that was the MC at Law's event. Now, Minnie is Angel's friend. That is what we didn't know. Okay. Now, in addition to all of that, we also had Precious, which is the new cast. Okay. Now, Precious is this lady that has hair business. She deals with she has like a hairline business. She's a lady from Nigeria, guys. But how weird is the accent? It's like she's a Nigerian. When a Nigerian woman wants to get rid of her Nigerian accent and she wants to speak in a South African accent, but even like, yeah. Like, I think, like when a South African woman is speaking English, but she speaks like, yeah. But then take a Nigerian woman trying to imitate a South African woman when they speak English, but they are speaking this English. Yeah, she speaks like that. But now, when a South African woman speaks this English, now add a Nigerian woman speaking this English, trying to imitate a South African. She speaks like that. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Why the hell are you talking like that? I was like, What the hell? What is that accent? What the hell are you talking like that? Okay? Talk like where you are from. Okay? There is a reason you are from where you are. I don't understand when people just like, because when you try and adjust your accent, like speak like where you're from, okay? Even people that are South African and they speak like that English, it's because of where they are from and they went to certain schools and then they come up with that English. He hasn't again that accent. You're born and then you're like, oh, okay, you must have gone to that school and then well, mold. It isn't. But when you try to mold it yourself, eventually it be weird, guys. Hi, speak like where you are from. Uyabona umuntu ayizwela ukuthi oh okay yeah. I mean, angiyazi le accent yalo wasisa. I was like, it's like Nigerian and South African and South African. She speaks very weirdly. So angazi nami guys, you have to watch. Laba bangayibuki Real House angazi. I can't even imitate her because she just speaks just a mix that I don't understand. So she has a headline, Precious. Maybe you guys have seen it on Instagram. I was like, hey, I haven't seen it. Should on Instagram like that because I haven't seen Precious. So apparently Precious have a history with Umini and they've tried to do business together. It didn't go so well. And now Precious wants to work with Angel. They're just starting business relationship. Precious wants Angel to advertise her hair, so she'll be giving Angel some hair. Angel is excited because she's all about the weaves and stuff. I think it's good. Precious says because she has worked with Lonely London and also Kespanyo versus did she say baby mama or wife? I think she said baby mama. I guess it's Tobega. And so, yeah, she says she wants to work with Angel. And when Angel tells Minnie this, Minnie's like, hey, Precious who? Because I've tried to work with Precious and it didn't go so well. And she shows Angel even other people that are complaining online. She says, listen, if you can work with her, but look here, people are complaining, and she doesn't deal very well with people that are complaining about her products online. So make the right decision for yourself. This is not good. But all of those people end up at Sorisha's event. Sorisha's event is beautiful. Everybody's friendly when they meet, but there is that thing, you guys, that everybody, when they appear on camera for the first time, they're acting weird. So for Precious, it was that first time she's on camera. So she's a little bit too excited, but weird at the same time when she's first appearing on camera. And also when they first, everybody gets there, which was interesting because everybody got there and they had to wait for the host, which I thought if it was somebody else that had done that to them where they got there and they had to wait for the host, there would have been, some people would have been upset with, how can you make us wait for you when you're a host? But because it was Sorisha, nobody was upset, honey. Yes, rich woman's privilege. So then, you guys, there was this woman that was teaching them the dance. I thought it was really fun, you guys. I think Sorisha said she decided that they're not gonna do the game. So I thought, for change, they're not doing the games. Good. So then, they did the dance. Then they sat down for food. It looked like it was just like everything when it came to the food and all of that. And Nongu asked Jojo to fetch the chicken for her. Guys, I feel like Jojo must need some therapy sessions or something, being friends with Nongu, because I feel like Kukuba friend with Nongu is very demanding. Anyway, you guys, so they sit at the table and then Umini starts this conversation where she says, she asks the women, it looks like all of us here are business women. So being business women, what is one thing that we have learned as business women? Which that's what I was saying, that Jojo hates it when they start like serious conversations. And then which Jojo thought it was the most boring thing for them to talk about. It turns out that Omini was asking that because she wanted to bring up the whole conflict between her and Precious. because Precious obviously was also going to comment on how the whole thing of her dealing with her employees, because Minnie felt like at some point when she came to her business, Precious was not treating her employees right. Apparently, she was screaming at her employees, treating her employees like they are children or something like that. And so everybody had these serious comments about all of the things that they regret. Nongu was talking about how she was scammed, you know, and we were like, Nongu, were you really scammed, or you just dated a man and gave him your money? She's really on that, still on that tip. She was scammed by RD. So everybody was being serious. All of that was just so many can confront Precious about this deal, that went bad. Anyway, I think the confrontation is really going to be completed next, in the next episode. I don't know about the edition main, you guys. I don't know. I think honestly this season is like they were doing trial and error with the casting, like I said. Like they were doing the was and now was again and now again, and let's try and see what works and what doesn't work. And I'm still not sure what they're doing. I still think that episode 3 was more watchable than episode 2. But I'm just like, okay, now there's Precious, and then now there's, you know, and I really do think that the old cast is trying by all means to be welcoming to all of the new cast, but I do feel like even them, they're more like, oh, okay, okay, this one too, okay, what's up, that's how it feels like that. It feels like even them, they're like, Gandhi, what are we doing here? This one as well. Oh, it feels like that. It was like a trial and error season. Okay, we don't know why we do it. Okay, I think they should have gone back to the drawing board, I still say, and looked at the budgets. And you need to increase the salary section in your budget section. Whatever else that is like your highest expenditure, you need to eliminate your highest expenditure should be the salaries. That's what I'm trying to say. I have worked as a budget officer. You can hire me. Yes, just hire me and I'll do it for you. Okay, your highest expenditure should be your salaries. It really should be on this show, honestly, because I feel like it's they are your most important assets at this point. I think they should go back to the drawing board and look at the past cast and be like, who can we bring back? How much would it cost us to bring these people back? I think it's worth it, and I think that bringing them back would be worth, whatever. How much does it cost? And I think that they should look at how much each person is worth, because I think about Real Housewives of Atlanta, each person is negotiated differently. They don't end the same. It depends how many seasons you've done, how much you've done, Jay, as a person, as an individual. How much are you worth to do the season? So listen, look at that. Okay, we're gonna try and enjoy this season, but this is not what this is not what we paid for. Okay. Showmax is too expensive for us to be watching this, but we're going to watch for this season. But please bring back our people. Okay, please. Okay, reconsider, look at that budget and make the right decision next season. This is not it. Okay, thank you so much, you guys. We will meet in the comment section. Ngithanda kakhulu.